Hey, welcome back, guys. We're gonna do a short podcast today. We're gonna start talking about Ahsoka and what are the impressions on what we've seen so far for the last two episodes. We have Angel. Say hello, Angel.
What's going on, guys? It's been a little while.
And then we have Don.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
And then we have our main man Nick.
Yo.
All right, so let's get into talking about the first episode of Ahsoka and what everybody thinks. So what are you guys' thoughts on what you've seen so far?
So I guess I can go ahead and take it off first. Listen, I mean, I think it's been awesome actually just seeing Ahsoka actually get the screen time that she actually deserves. She's actually been a fan favorite for a very long time, especially among the Jedi Order. So, it's nice to actually see that, what was the time spent afterwards. Like we got a chance to see her in Mandalorian, just for a brief moment. But then when she left after that, it was just like a one episode type thing. But, I think for Ahsoka, I think we only got to see like a little bit of her in Clone Wars. If anybody haven't got a chance to see Clone Wars,
they better have.
Right?
Yeah, because like Clone Wars was like fucking amazing.
Classic.
Yeah. So it's definitely been fun to see like a lot of her kind of growing up and, she was an apprentice of, Anakin Skywalker. I think we all know that if you got a chance to watch Clone Wars. But again, we've never gotten a chance to see what it's like for her to step in the shoes of a master. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think this show is definitely talking about diving a little more into her character. And I think she was definitely well needed, honestly, because I mean, she's amazing. If you already caught up with the series already as it is, it's just kind of been very fun to really see like how her combat skill is. I mean, now she has an apprentice. I mean, I've never seen Sabine before. I think Sabine is kind of like newish.
She's
in Rebels, maybe. I think.
Yeah.
But they never mentioned her being a Jedi. So that's something that's really new to this series in general.
Yeah, I didn't see Rebels. I did see Clone Wars. So for me, she seems new, but I'm pretty sure she's already been there. They're just yeah. As you said, I do like that we're seeing her story, her side, what she's doing now,
right?
And how she's like progressed in her life and stuff. Having Anakin Skywalker as her master, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, I know, right?
I feel like that in itself holds a lot of weight to it because you got to remember, like, Anakin may not have been like, on the council, but he was one of the most feared Jedi out in the battlefield.
Yes.
He was, not only was he feared, it was also stated just how powerful his force abilities really were, and they rivaled that of Yoda. Grandmaster Yoda, Anakin. Yep. His powers rivaling that. The only difference, like, we conversated earlier, Daniel, is that Yoda had time to master his abilities, whereas Anakin didn't have the same level of mastery that Yoda did.
Exactly.
So he didn't have his power wasn't quite on display as well as Yoda's was. But that being said, though, Anakin is still a vastly formidable, Jedi out on the field, and then to have somebody like Ahsoka come in and like, what was it? I think it was the Clone Wars movie, the animated movie, where she came in the middle of a battlefield and she not only like survived, but she also performed as well.
Right.
Basically her first mission with her brand new master. And then we got to see her, kind of progress little by little throughout the storyline in the Clone Wars and just how, she went from having this like the regular, lightsaber to having dual wield and how she like her skills are just rapidly improving. And I think it really got to show just how well she was able to like adapt to everything and all, what all that comes with, having Anakin as a master.
Yeah.
So that whole thing holds like a lot of weight. And I definitely agree with you that it's definitely amazing that we actually get to see her on the big screen now, where it's just about her.
Well, the medium-sized screen.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
But it would be nice to see her on the big screen.
Go ahead.
In the Rebel series, she also went against Darth Vader, towards the end of the Rebel series too. So it's like,
yeah,
this is like this series is like going off of that story after that happened. As her adulthood, this is pretty much telling it's all that.
Right.
So it's like as you watch Clone Wars, then Rebels, and then you watch this series, is like a progression through our life of each phase. It's pretty cool. Now that it's live action too, so
Yeah, they did
enjoy the journey.
They did very well on showing her live action, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Sabine, good, cool, thing that happened in the Rebel series that she passed down the black saber to Bo-Katan in that series with
Yeah, that's why
Mandalorian.
Bo-Katan has the dark saber in Mandalorian. Well, she's supposed to have it and then lost it, whatever the case was.
Yeah, because she passed it down from Sabine passed it down to Bo-Katan, and that's how you know what we've seen in that series. But you can tell it's all connected. A lot of people are calling this like a sequel to the Rebel series because it comes right off of it, everything that happened in there, even from the murals that we see in the series, and all the characters. So it's definitely good to go back and watch that series for this one.
Yeah, Ahsoka Tano's a badass.
Yeah,
100%.
Wasn't she kind of like one of the first Jedis to actually dual wield like that? Like,
no, definitely.
I wouldn't say dual wield.
I think she's just one of the more prominent ones that we see more often.
I was about to say popularize that.
Yeah, I highly doubt she's the first. There's no doubt in my mind that she's not the first.
Yeah, like you said, she definitely uses dual wield more than others, which makes her seem like she's the first one, but no.
It's just she's one of the more popular Jedi that was like more focused on, so we got to see more of her. So I feel like it gives that impression off.
Yeah. So the first episode, Sabine's a fucking idiot. She doesn't listen, first of all, because Ahsoka decided to tell her not to take the map, the star map, out of the ship. And what do you think she did?
She did exactly that.
Did exactly what she wasn't supposed to do.
Right.
And then what happened?
It's like the moment Ahsoka left the room, she just grabbed it and walked out.
And then what happened? Like, she got her ass beat, and then the star map taken. Like, what the
I feel like that's like a double whammy. It's a double slap in the face, because not only did you not listen to your previous master, but you also saw firsthand that your training was not up to par at all.
No,
because you got clapped in that fight. So like that's like a double slap in the face. I'm gonna be honest.
She wasn't ready.
All that just because you wanted to be rebellious. Like, all right, lady, go have a seat.
She got destroyed in that fight, dude.
Like, it looked like the Sith apprentice wasn't even really like going all out in that fight.
No,
it looked like she was toying with
She's
her.
playing with food, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's like what is it? I think I said it to you earlier, Nick. It was like from Obi-Wan Kenobi when that Inquisitor tried to fight back against Darth Vader, and he was just toying with her to the point where he basically like stopped her blade, like her lightsaber, with the palm of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's a flex and a half. That's just like him saying, like, you're nothing, right?
Okay, we're done here.
That's basically what he did. He was like, well, you were fun. Goodbye.
I played enough with you today. Yeah, so
my little stretch for the day.
So Dante, kind of give me some background on Sabine, or however you pronounce it. If I'm pronouncing it right. Because she's like a Mandalorian. So again, this is for me. This is the first time me seeing her. So
I second that.
Yeah, so I want to know, like, if you know the backstory with her and how is she a Mandalorian and why is she also wielding? Well, I know why she's wielding that lightsaber, because she got it from Ezra.
His name was Ezra.
Ezra was a Jedi. So is she some kind of like Mandalorian / Jedi type thing? Because
that's never been done too. Huh?
Yeah, because apparently she's being trained by Ahsoka as of these episodes that we've seen.
Yeah, she's basically like, it's like a subgroup. I forget the name of it, but they're part of the Mandalorians, but they're not officially Mandalorians, but it's like, they're affiliated with them. It's kind of like that group that Bo-Katan was in.
Yeah,
those bounty hunters.
They're not like super like with the religion of masking their face constantly and stuff like that. They're more open and still part of that group, but they're more like freed, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, exactly. So Sabine is kind of like part of a group like that. And she's pretty much like, she's like an engineer / artist from her backstory. So she created this device that can actually, at one point in the Rebel series, she created like a device where it could disarm the Mandalorians. And they actually, a lot of the Sith Lords, they used that against the Mandalorians during the war when they were trying to take over the Mandalore, the land.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, she made, it's like this electricity device that pretty much shocks the armor and it dismantles all their equipment. And she has parts of doing things like that, like engineering certain devices to help her clan or whatever. So that's pretty much what her role is in that whole sphere and the Mandalore. Well, as far as I know she has more to do, but it's a lot to the Rebel series. I'm trying to collect thoughts on. But.
Yeah, I was about to say, because like to get caught up on the Rebel series, like
it's too long.
Yeah, it's too long. I mean, and that I think that's what I was trying to say for anybody that's just coming into Star Wars in general, because I don't think a lot of people that generally wants to like. I think it, like most people that will probably just watch this series, they'll be like, okay, you know, I have an understanding of some of these characters. It doesn't really make sense. But I'm okay with just what I have in front of me. I don't think most people will be like, you know what, let me go back, watch Rebels, watch Clone Wars, just to have a better understanding. I mean, you could, but it's like, I don't know, it's too much time consuming to try to do all that. I doubt anybody's going to want to do that.
Actually, on that note, I was talking to Danny about it earlier. There's this YouTube channel that I had came across like a few years ago called The Stupendous Wave. All he does is go over Star Wars lore, and it's so in depth that it's one of those feelings where like you might feel like, okay, I think I got a grasp of everything, and then you find his YouTube channel and you're like, holy crap, I just barely scraped the surface.
I was about to say, is that the guy that you was telling me about the one time that he started to describe like how the lightsabers were actually created or something like that?
Yep, he goes.
I remember
he
that.
goes really in depth on like the history of the Star Wars, like the different lore. The
Kyber
ancient
crystals.
The different types of kyber crystals, which ones are powerful, which ones are not, the different lightsaber hilts that some of the Sith and Jedi used, the ones that were forbidden, like that nobody wanted to use. Like there was a lightsaber that's like virtually weightless, so like it's so easy to like win fights, because in reality, lightsaber hilts have they're heavy, which is kind of hard to believe when you're watching them on screen where they're just swinging around. But I feel like it goes to show like just how much they've trained with it to where it looks like that. But to have them transfer from that to having a weightless,
it's like watching Cloud swing his sword.
Yeah, exactly. You would think that it weighs nothing, when in reality it's weighs a lot. But he really dives really deep into that lore. It's very fun to watch, I won't lie. So you guys can definitely give that a little look-see.
Yeah, a look-see.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got into, what's his name? Balak. What is his name? Ballard. I forgot his fucking name already. Just
Ballard?
seen it. Ballard was his name?
I think it's Ballard.
Oh,
Yeah,
Baylor.
Baylor. Yeah, Baylor. And then his apprentice, forgot her fucking name too.
It's Shin.
Shin.
The one with the blonde hair?
Yeah, with the
Shin.
short hair. Yeah. So those two,
She just look mean.
so those two, what I think were Jedi before, and then after like Order 66 happened, and then like we talked about, they kind of like, there was some Jedi that got killed, and then there was some Jedi that turned to the dark side, to not get killed. And then they had some kind of grudge against someone, or they had some kind of dark, thoughts in their head.
I believe they're just simply referred to as Dark Jedi.
Oh,
I could be wrong.
Balon, that's his name, Balon. And then Balon and Shin.
Balin.
Yeah.
And then Shin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those two are helping the witch of Dathomir.
Yeah, Dathomir.
He's in Morgan, right?
Yeah,
I think.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're trying to find Thrawn. You're gonna have to explain who Thrawn is to me, Dante.
Oh yeah, Thrawn. Yeah, he's another big person that's in the Rebel series. He's pretty much like it's like a general part of like this army of I forget what the species it's called, but they're all blue, just like him. And he basically works alongside Darth Vader at some point too. So he's like part of the dark side and all of them, and they're just trying to capture certain units of each planet. Is like the typical thing where they're trying to take over a planet and then they either seek and destroy it or they just capture it. So he pretty much does that. And but Ahsoka was trying to stop him in the Rebel series as well at some point too. But it was this other character. I'm not sure if he's gonna appear in this Ahsoka series, but his name was Ezra.
Yeah, Ezra. Ezra
Ezra.
was the Jedi, right?
Yeah, I think he was. I think
Right.
he originated in the Rebels.
Okay.
Yeah. And he pretty much, to sum it up, is like he summoned like it's like these space wells, and he sent them after Dorn, and he pretty much zapped them off into space, and that's where he
Where it was
sent
left
them off
off.
somewhere. Right.
Which would explain why Ahsoka thinks that he's still alive somewhere with that star map that they're trying to use, or they did use in the first
Right.
episode. So
Yeah, exactly.
so from Rebels, there was no confirmation that he died.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
so. I think he
Okay.
just went missing or something like that. And that's kind
Well,
of
just-
why nobody really knew where exactly he went missing at.
Just like Thrawn, like for some reason he's missing too, and they're trying to find him because
Yeah.
Morgan and them were trying to find Thrawn, and then Ahsoka and Sabine was trying to find Ezra. So it's weird that they both kind of like disappeared.
Yeah. Kind of confusing.
Yeah, because Thrawn first appeared in like the 90s. Like it was like an old Star Wars book in the novel. Yeah, that's where his first appearance was. Like, so he's like deep into the lore of
Yeah, I was about to
the
say,
dark side.
we're watching a video about like some of his kind of past history, and it seems like he's really mentioned a lot in the books and comic books, and that's kind of where I feel like he was mostly like most of his spotlight came from, right before Rebels,
Is it?
at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
So that's
So, but the question is, I mean, I'm guessing like what type of threat is he? Like, I don't think he has
seems like he's gonna. If he was alongside of Darth Vader, then that means he can probably start a whole nother war.
Yeah,
if he was
that high ranking, he definitely has some power to be
Wait,
wielded.
but can he hold the Force? I don't even think he can.
well,
I
he
think
doesn't need to. He's a
just
general,
smart, right?
So
He's not-
he's just smart.
It's not even. Yeah, it's not even just the fact that if like whether he's able to use the Force or not. And I honestly, my personal opinion, I highly doubt that he can because he's like it says like right here, Grand Admiral.
Yeah.
Like he's no different from somebody else that from like a general or something like that. But since he's so high ranking, he would still have pull to do certain things. If he like you said wanted to start another war, he has the pull to do that and the authority and command to gather the troops. Blah blah blah.
He's very well known in the Imperial Army, basically, and a lot of people respect him. So those who are in hiding would probably come back out to serve him and start another war if he really wants.
So this is what I'm actually reading. Like he possesses an extraordinary ability to analyze and predict adversaries' moves. So yeah, like a general, like obviously how they would move on the battlefield,
making him
like
a master tactician.
Yeah, when it reads it out like that, it's basically saying that you're very good at strategy.
Right.
Yeah.
You're very strategic.
Take your time.
Yes, and you can predict things like you analyze everything very well.
right.
That's like someone noticing somebody else's poker face when you're playing blackjack or something.
Yeah, either that or it can be something as simple as like picking up on people's different habits or like
Exactly.
if, like they let's say they use like the same strategy more than once, he could probably pick up on that. And he's like, okay, well we're at this stage in the battle now. They're probably going to do this.
That's more of a skill than an ability.
Yeah, that's more of an acquired thing.
Yeah.
So in other words, it's kind of like saying him being a threat. It's not always about the heavy lifting. It's just about mindset.
Yeah, it
like
could be brain power.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's smart.
Yeah. So
no, that's very smart.
yeah.
And he also is ranked higher than Moff Gideon from the Mandalore series, so he's like even higher than that
Yeah.
in
Exactly.
the ranking in the Republic. So
Fuck that guy, Moff Gideon.
I think I told you guys about it.
I feel like he was just terrible as an antagonist. Like I don't think like he's just good for nothing.
He was more of a pain in my ass.
Yeah,
I was like, he just irritated me more than anything else.
Right.
He got defeated and then came back and then got defeated again and then came back and got defeated again.
I don't know if I told you guys about it or if you guys already knew, but I actually found something out interesting about that. So you know how like that throughout that whole thing, Moff Gideon was like not afraid of anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the moment that the X-wing pops up on the radar in the last episode of season 2, I think it is, like he tries to like basically kill himself because of how scared he was.
Because he thought it was Luke's.
No, it was definitely Luke's, but like there's a reason why he was so scared, and it goes back to the original movies when Darth Vader was escorting Luke Skywalker, Luke, who was in handcuffs to the basically like the main, I guess, throne room, if you would call it that, where Palpatine was. Everyone on the ship, that's what they saw. They saw him go in handcuffs, escorted by Darth Vader to the Emperor. Nobody knows what happened inside. All they know is that he went in handcuffs and he was the only one that came out.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
They were terrified of Luke because of that. In their head, he slaughtered both of them. So, like I said, they didn't know what happened, behind those doors. So, when he saw Luke's X-wing come up on the radar, he was freaking out. For the first time, we see him like, "Oh my god!" And we're like, "Yes, feel it,
feel it.
You feel that fear,
feel it, feel the vibration." Yeah. So, so the next thing we're going to talk about is what do you think is going to happen? Like, there is a part that I'm trying to, it's more of a me thing. If you guys know that Cal Kestis, I'm trying to have him be part of the
universe,
of just the universe.
You want him to be canon? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I want him to be canon. So,
well, you might if you're gonna bring him, then you might as well bring Starkiller. Was it
Starkiller?
Yeah,
Galen Merrick. What's his name? Galen Merrick or something?
No, Starkiller. It's from The Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
No, but he has a real name though.
Yes, but we're just talking about the character.
I know. I was just
wait.
It was just for my own sanity.
Yes,
that's all I needed.
Wait, was that his real name? I don't remember.
It was. Yeah, I think it was something like Galen Merrick or something like that.
Yeah. So
I was just trying to remember just for my own sanity. That was it.
There's a lot of stupid speculation. Is just rumors or something stupid, but they think that
right.
It could be the guy that's in the mask with the dual lightsaber, because he has that close enough costume. I'm not saying that.
Actually, no. I'll, like everything aside, I feel like that's a really good theory. However, my own interjection of that was that if this also goes back to the YouTube channel that I was talking about, and it's Stupendous Wave. In that video, we found out just how powerful he actually is. And if that
Cal?
No, Galen.
Okay.
Starkiller. If that was Starkiller, all jokes aside, I honest to God think he definitely would have clapped Ahsoka. Like it would have been like, because
it would have been crazy
because he's somebody that was so powerful with the Force. He was somebody that was rivaling Darth Vader.
Dude, he took down a Star Destroyer by himself.
Exactly. That's another point right there. He was so powerful in the Force that he was able to do that. However, the only thing about that though is that Star Destroyer, that destroyer ship was already like coming down. He basically
pulled it back.
Yeah, he made it faster.
That was
because it was already going down, but he made it worse.
But Ahsoka takes place after the Empire.
Yeah, so there's no new Empire at this very.
Yeah, so there's no Darth Vader.
Oof.
And he was the apprentice to Darth Vader. So that doesn't make sense. I throw that rumor out their way.
It would have been crazy if that was Starkiller, though.
Yes.
But if it was, Ahsoka would not have won that fight.
I just wanted to bring that tip up.
Can you imagine if it was Cal Kestis? That would be crazy.
Yeah, if it was Cal Kestis, or maybe he's
that
like
I can possibly
under
believe.
mind control or something.
Yeah,
because Cal Kestis is in that time frame. He fits in there.
Right.
Because it was like mid Order 66, and then Survivor is kind of like after that a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're still trying to find and kill the Jedis, though. So, I don't know.
And he's already an actor too. That's the thing. Like, there'll be freaking sweet to just kind of slide him in there.
Yeah, I would like to see Cal Kestis like live action.
Yeah,
right, like who doesn't want to be in a Star Wars film? Like, it's Star Wars. It's one of the biggest franchises ever.
I mean, didn't they just have? Wait, I'm probably thinking about something else. Yeah, my brain stopped.
Brain fart.
I felt that on such a spiritual
No,
level.
I don't know if it was Star Wars. Yeah, it may have been. It may have been on Mandalorian, actually. Yeah, with Jack Black and
Oh
I was like, yo, what is this?
That was the third season.
Yeah,
he was the he was like some kind of
like a dad or something like that.
No, he was like a some kind of like lord or something of that one city that they went to and stuff like that. And then his wife was
low-key spoilers.
Oh yeah, you didn't. Yeah, you didn't watch these.
Oh
three.
yeah.
I just didn't watch season 3.
Oh, you're killing me.
Well, that's what. Well, to my point, Angel, I was like, anybody can see themselves in Star Wars because, I'm not saying Jack Black. Jack Black is very well respected, but I'm saying like I forgot who was the wife again. Wasn't that
yes, that one. Yes. Mommy. Yep. Exactly. So.
What's bananas down there? Our employees' moms.
Yes, we're trying not to ruin it for Angel. But yes, they were both in there.
I need to catch up.
Yeah,
you do.
I thought you would have catch up. It's been quite some time.
Hey, listen, man. I have been preoccupied the last few months.
I would say, with Ahsoka coming out, though, it's definitely probably been kind of better. I mean, I'm not going to say it's better than, Mandalorian, because I think Mandalorian's actually one of the tops at this very time.
I think Ahsoka's getting up there.
Ahsoka's getting just 3 episodes in. It's really good. Like,
well, we haven't seen the 3rd episode, but the first 2 already shows enough. A lot.
Yeah. Because it's focusing very much on Jedis in general, like,
which I love and wanted to see.
Yeah, I was say I feel like
I thought we were going to see that in Obi-Wan though. Like,
we seen a little bit of it, but it was like towards the end. It was basically to close off Obi-Wan's story.
Yeah,
because everybody wanted an Obi-Wan show. Wanted to see what he's doing now. So that was their way of just like kind of phasing him out to move on to the next Jedi.
It was the whole like seeing basically a broken Jedi, master, kind of like trying to survive and how essentially how broken he was to finding himself again.
Because that was the piece that was missing from was it New Hope? Was that the first one, like in the 70s?
That was New Hope.
Yeah. So that one, you seen them all old, or is it the next one? It's one of those 2 where you see him old, and then Luke is like a teenager or whatever, a young adult, and then he sees Obi-Wan old and about to die and whatever, and then they go to the starship, and then Darth Vader kills him and he dies there. So that from him being old in that time and before, that's where we had to close that off. That's why they made that Obi-Wan fight Darth Vader again, put him to sleep. Right. That's it. No more Obi-Wan.
See, this would be like the chronological order that if you want to watch the list.
Yeah, it's stupid the way they did it.
I know.
They started in the 70s from like part 3, 4, and then they went back to 1, 2 in the year 2000s. Yeah, I never
understood that. Like, they were going in such a backwards order, and at the time, I don't think anybody would have probably had understand. They would have been like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it is what it is.
And Solo was Han Solo. Like the single movie was terrible. I didn't like that.
I think Rogue One was worse.
Yeah, I was about to say I personally wasn't like the biggest fan of Rogue One. I saw like it had almost nothing to do with Jedi, which I was hoping.
I think it was like a spin-off type thing.
I'm gonna take you by surprise, guys.
So.
And Don actually liked it, that one.
Well, you do like Metal Gear Solid.
Heresy.
And you do like Death Stranding.
That is blasphemous.
That one is. I pick that one over the last couple Star Wars. Definitely.
No. Which one? Not you talking about the one with
Rey?
Rey, yeah.
Yeah, well, Rey, that whole trilogy of those movies. Like,
I was about to say, not the original, right? Like, the original was really good.
Wait, so you're saying you put Rogue One over the Last Jedi and the whatever Skywalker's thing?
I don't know, because like that one was really good though. I liked that one.
So the one with Rey, you put those movies under Rebel One.
You mean Rogue One?
Yeah,
Rogue One. Sorry.
Yeah, I put Rogue One ahead of those. Yeah.
Oh, we're no longer friends. Oh my God, my soul.
Those ones just seem like carbon copies of what Luke and Darth Vader was to me. Like, it just seemed like they just gender swapped the characters.
Well, what they're trying to do was trying to close off like the old stories. Like, they had to get rid of Leia, they had to get rid of Han, they had to get rid of all those old characters and start moving on to the new stuff.
Right.
That's what they basically
But-
did there. So the Rey, when they start her new movie, is going to be her movie and her path different from the other ones.
Yeah, because she just signed up another contract, right? I
Yeah,
think
she's
so.
supposed to do some more movies
Yeah.
with Star Wars, but like it's not supposed to. It's supposed to just continue off of that saga. This was the whole these three latest movies are the Skywalker saga still, and it's getting closed
Right.
off. That's why it seems similar to the older ones. They're just trying to complete it.
Yeah, I know that, but it just seemed like they didn't differentiate from the past Star Wars. It just seemed like they got lazy and they just copied it and just swapped out the characters. Even with the guy that's supposed to be the Darth Vader guy, it's like I forget his name.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
It just seems like
Darth
not
Sidious is
Darth
still
Vader.
correct.
Yeah, that first one of the newer series, I kind of like don't like, but the last two that came out were better, I think.
You should read about him, Nick. He's actually crazy.
What is this? How do you pronounce his last name? Was it like
Nihilus.
Nihilus. Oh.
Mhm.
He looks wild. He looks pretty wild.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
He basically siphons like the life essence out of planets.
That's
really?
If I'm remembering that correctly, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it says Darth Nihilus was so powerful that he could sense planets and individuals that were strong in the Force, forcing Nihilus to kill and cleanse everything and anyone that was ever touched by the Force. That's wild.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention too. Like part of the Rebel series, like towards the end, where Ahsoka was going against Darth Vader, and she slid like part of Darth Vader's mask off, but she got pulled into this alternate dimension where it's like a world between the like times, and she got like it's like this like you'll see it like during the past two episodes. It's like you'll see like astrology and like witchcraft, like that has a big thing to do with like the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
That,
Mhm.
at their Dark Moth.
Yep.
It's like I feel like that's like a big theme in like the Ahsoka series too, like just astrology and everything, and like the space time travel, because it's a big time. That's like a big theme too. It's like a big time gap for her trying to fix a certain time period from when she got pulled into that alternate world. So
It's not
feel
going to
like
turn
that's
into
like
another multiverse thing, is it?
oh no, I think it's just like a big time travel thing. You know, like how some shows go through different times.
Okay.
But yeah, I could see them doing that in the next coming episodes, especially when she's with what's his name? Dawn got sent off into space. I could see him using that ball map that they found in the
Yeah, the
first
star map.
episode. Right. I have a feeling like that's all gonna tie into that.
I just
So-
want to know how big of a threat he might be. I was like,
Well, we're going to find out soon when
Yeah.
Morgan finds him.
that's gonna be crazy. They already have like kind of like some spoilers, not spoilers, but like predictions on like what he's gonna actually look like on the actual live. He looks weird. Looks like
Yeah, I try to skip that part on the internet.
he
So
looks
I'll have to see it.
he looks kind of weird. Like
Yeah, but I can't. So again, we're only 2 episodes in. So does anybody know how many episodes there are?
there's
Or
probably gonna
supposed
be
to be.
like about 10.
Yeah, I was
maybe.
gonna say it sounds like it's probably gonna be close to
Mandalorian
that.
had like 10 episodes every season, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh yeah.
So
Another character that's a part of the Rebel series too. She appears in here. I believe it's episode 2.
Oh, there's
the-
gonna be
the green.
there's gonna be
Era.
8.
yeah. Oh, it looks like 8 episodes.
Oh.
Yeah. Not enough.
Yeah, it's not.
You think it might get more than one season?
Oh
I
yeah, for
hope
sure.
so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if they go down the path of just focusing up on Sabine, I mean, Andrew, you've seen it yourself. Like, it might take a little longer than 3 or 4 episodes for her training.
Oh my god,
Yeah. So in the end of the
that was so,
so
bad.
Sabine was always going back and forth on Ahsoka not wanting to train her, or she doesn't want her. She doesn't want her to come with her to places and stuff like that. But this whole time she kind of wanted Ahsoka. I felt like Ahsoka wanted Sabine to
want it.
Yeah, to want it herself or to pursue it herself or keep
Yeah.
trying and not giving up on, being stronger, being, a Jedi apprentice or, Padawan.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
So at the end of the second episode, Ahsoka has her with her and just calls her Padawan. So finally she's accepted only because Sabine told her with her gear, she's like, I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Yeah, it took you long enough.
Yeah, exactly. So it took her long enough it took her a whole 2 episodes just to.
It took her 2 episodes and
Stop
for her
bitching.
to get her.
I just want to
Basically.
know exactly like how much time has gone by, like after when she was actually training her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how long has it been for her to try
Not
to get
that
back
long
on
because she's still apparently young. So.
I would like to disagree with you. I want to say it's been a considerable, decent-ish
Yeah,
amount
that's
of
what I was
time.
about to say. Like,
Mainly the reason why I say that is because
her training was garbage.
it was horrible. The moment that first swing of her lightsaber was trash.
I mean, Andrew, you could have seen it yourself, right? Like the stance was like, all right, you're about to get this ass beaten. Like,
Well,
I think the worst part about it though is I used to do martial arts myself. So like to a certain degree, not fully. I'm not really like in depth like that, but like I can recognize a bad stance when I see one, and that was horrible. That's like if I gave like my 8-year-old sister a lightsaber and just said, "Here, have fun." That's what she would do. Like that was horrible. So the last time she trained must have been a while ago.
Like,
Because there was no training.
Oh,
in there
you're talking
whatsoever.
about the space. I thought you were talking about how long has she trained her.
No, we're talking about how long has it
She-
been.
How long
since
it-
she trained her? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
probably forever.
yeah. That's what I was saying.
Oh my
Like, how
God.
long it's probably been.
Because
like,
they train Padawans while they're children.
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
small because Anakin, he killed a bunch of kids. But
Not only that, Anakin actually started his training a lot older than the little kids.
yeah, he did.
yeah,
He did.
and look at him now.
The God.
Well, he's dead.
He's dead.
He's dead now. But
Did now, but when he was alive,
Yes,
this man was a
exactly.
force
But
to
he-
be reckoned with.
but
No
there-
pun intended.
But there's still no comparison to a lot of people out there.
So
to his
from the
style.
time that she was trained, probably as a child, till now, which she's probably in her 20s, there's that gap. There's a huge gap.
Yeah. So like a huge
I think
gap.
the worst part about it though is like even as fans that's just watching the show, we saw that what was her name? Shin.
Shin, yeah.
Yeah.
She was like
Really,
looking
you-
at her like,
no,
what
you
the
can
fuck are you
just
doing?
Tell that she was toying with her. Like
Yes.
it was. You can just see it. That's embarrassing. That's one of those ass whoopings where you're just like, damn, maybe I should start training a little bit more.
Maybe that's why she went with Ahsoka. I got my ass whooped. I'm trying not to get my ass whooped again.
That's what I was about to say earlier.
Can
It was
you
like,
show me what to do.
It not only took you 2 episodes, it also took you to get your ass handed to you and a lightsaber through your gut to decide, you know what, maybe I should start training again.
Well, remember what I told you guys earlier? I said I seen that meme where Qui-Gon had his hands in his hips and he was like, well, I died from that lightsaber cut or whatever. He said, how come you didn't?
That's a good thing. That's like a big discussion that's online right now. Like a lot of people are saying that's not realistic, that she got cut through her gut with the lightsaber versus like the older Star Wars where it would have had more of an effect on a person because it's like made of plasma, so it would mess up your
I was about to say like one like slash to the arm, like your arm is missing, they're already dead.
I think the one thing that we can probably think about though is it's probably like a long shot. I feel like I'm really like reaching for this, but it could be like where specifically they got stabbed. That probably did it for Qui-Gon.
I guess.
Like I said, I'm probably reaching for this, but like if you think about it, she got like stabbed more like up here, whereas Qui-Gon was like more like down here.
He was old too.
Well, not necessarily old, but he definitely was older. And as I've had training to be an EMT, and I know like more like your pelvic area, it's a lot of vasculature there. So like if you get cut anywhere like in there, the eternal bleeding that you're gonna have is gonna be ridiculous. Like so that's the only reason why my brain is like, maybe you can look at it as to where they got stabbed as opposed to like just them being stabbed in general.
And the lightsabers, what's that word? Cauterize.
Cauterize.
Yeah, they cauterize the bleeding. So, you're
yeah.
You're not
It's
bleeding.
it's the same thing with like depending on like let's say you get shot depending on the type of like round and how big it was.
Mhm.
If it goes through you, depending on its path, it will cauterize that wound, so there isn't much bleeding to be to handle when when you're there. So it yeah, I can agree.
Right.
Yeah.
So Qui-Gon, stay in the corner. You're gone. Stay ghost.
It's funny because also Stupendous Wave. I feel like I'm plugging the hell out of his channel right now, but I actually found out from there that he was actually like a force to be reckoned with too, and he had some crazy foresight too, in the sense
Qui-Gon?
that like it was he did one of those like what ifs type of things, like if
Mhm.
Qui-Gon actually never did die and he was the one that actually took over Anakin's training like he was supposed to,
Mhm.
Anakin would have been crazy. Like nobody was touching him at all because of how powerful he was going to be.
But do you think that he would have been a Sith though?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Just the way that this guy was explaining it, it just made sense. Like it wasn't one of those things where you put it into question. You're like, like no, this made sense. The way that Qui-Gon would have trained him, because we also got to remember that that Obi-Wan wasn't necessarily like a full-fledged, Jedi ready for a Padawan at the time that he had to take on Anakin.
Right.
He was basically still learning things as he's teaching Anakin, which was like, you're only going to get so much, training and benefit from that. And not to put Obi-Wan at fault, because it wasn't necessarily his fault. It was like his master's wishes that he took over that training. So he wanted to do right by his master.
Right.
Which, who wouldn't want to do that, right? But all in all, like I genuinely, but like I have to agree with him in the sense that if Qui-Gon didn't die against Darth Maul and he took over that training, we would have never saw Darth Vader, and I think Palpatine would have been dealt with by Anakin.
Right. So going back to Ahsoka with the witches, so Morgan, do you think she's stronger than Jedi's or no? Obviously not, because she got captured by Ahsoka.
Right.
But like, where does the witches thing fall in? Like, are they strong? Like,
it's one of those things where like it's just that their abilities are different.
I was about to say, like, they do more witchcraft.
So they have different abilities that Jedi's and Sith don't necessarily have. So like, whereas a Jedi or Sith might have an upper hand in a certain field of a battle, a witch might have a different advantage in a different area. So it's a weird like fight. I think in Jedi Fallen Order, I think you fight witches in there too, don't you?
Yes, you do.
So
you do, because they're like zombies though.
Yeah,
you only fight the one witch, and then she ends up becoming your friend.
Yeah, I do remember that from watching gameplay. In a sense, not fully, obviously, because it is that gameplay basically revolves around you. But in a sense, you can kind of get an idea of like the different types of like fighting styles that a witch would have versus like a Jedi or a Sith. Because if you think about a Jedi and Sith, their abilities are more or less the same. Give or take a couple of different abilities like Force Lightning and stuff like that, but more or less still the same. Just the fighting styles might be a little bit more aggressive as opposed to Jedi, depending on what type of fighting style the Jedi is using. Because Anakin had a more aggressive fighting style, not quite as aggressive as Mace Windu's, because Mace Windu like teetered on the dark side of his fighting abilities just to like harness that part of it. But it wasn't. He was mainly taking like his opponent's rage and using it against them type of like thing. So he was like teetering there. But since he was such a high ranking Jedi on the council, he had control over it. Whereas he didn't trust Anakin to have to use that same fighting style, but he still ended up using an aggressive form. So either way, either way you look at it, it's still more or less somewhat similar to how the Sith fight.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean to that point, because in the Rebel series, a lot the Night Sisters, which are the witches, they put back together Darth Maul at one point, and they gave him like, because remember in like the prequel Star Wars movie where Darth Maul got cut in half and got put into, they pretty much built him back together and gave him like mechanical legs in the Rebel series.
See, I did hear about that.
Yeah, so like I feel like they, like Angel was just saying, they work alongside with the what's it called, with Darth Maul and that league of that dark side of the Empire, more or less. Like they work as like medics for them. Whenever they get hurt in some kind of way, they pretty much come at their will and put them back together. It seems like, and that's what what Morgan's role is like she's not only like there to oversee what's going on and take charge, but also I'm wondering too if Darth Maul will make an appearance in this, like because he has a big thing to do with not only the Mandalorian but with Ahsoka's saga in the Rebel series. So
Interesting.
I'm wondering if that all ties.
I know Don's probably like, I want this to be a happen because that's his favorite character in Star Wars.
He's a very underrated Sith. Like a lot of people don't like talk about him too much, but he's pretty beastie. Yeah.
Which Sith we were talking about again?
Darth Maul.
Oh yeah, Darth Maul. He was vicious.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I would like to see him again.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Darth Maul was a teenager when he actually killed Qui-Gon Jinn. As a teenager, he was that powerful to take on somebody from the Jedi Council.
Yeah, he's from Dathomir.
Yeah,
I really like that late.
That if I'm not mistaken, what Darth Maul looked like, that's what an actual Sith is. Like that's because if you think about it, the Sith are their own race, and that's what they look like.
That's great.
And they have if I'm not mistaken, they have like extraordinary ties with the dark side of the Force, just like how Yoda's race, I forget the name of his race, but they have extremely strong connection with the light side of the Force. There was never one person from Yoda's race that ever went to the dark side. And I think there might have just been one, but she did it just for a moment and came back because of whatever situation that was going on there that I kind of don't quite remember.
Oh, small carnivorous humanoids. That's what the race is.
There's no real name for it. Just says Yoda species.
They're saying he's very small. I didn't like the female version of him. He was weird looking.
Actually, I believe it was one of the females from Yoda's race that actually did that, where she kind of went to the dark, used some of the dark side of the Force to help whatever she was doing to help her fellow soldiers, and then she kind of branched back off of it, she didn't use it again. So even when going to the dark side, they still have such strong ties.
They just go there, use the power,
and that's
and
it.
Then come back.
Very, very tiny tidbit, just very, very brief. I just want you guys to think about this for a moment. We all saw how powerful Yoda was, right? Just think about how strong he would be as a Sith Lord. Doesn't have to be a conversation. Doesn't have to be a conversation. I just want you to think about it.
I just want you to
just let it marinate in your head for a moment.
Think about it for a second.
Yeah. So, I see on social media and stuff, I see a lot of, Rebel and Ahsoka, comparisons on characters and certain things on there. Now, from what I see more of kind of the same path. So is it just replacing what Rebels showed us in just live action, or is it a continuation off of that?
It's a continuation.
Yeah,
for
I was
sure.
gonna say it.
Okay, so I'm just looking at things that they're just comparing it to, not necessarily mean that it's that same exact.
So I think
scene.
the one thing that I can what's the word I'm looking for? I see where you're coming from, but the main reason why I 100% agree with Dante as far as it being a continuation is because if you look, me personally, I've never really sat there and watched Star Wars Rebels. I would see the commercials. Pop up.
That's why I want to just make sure because I didn't watch Rebels either.
If you look at Rebels, I'm pretty sure you can remember what their faces look like, right? But when you look at the mural in episode, I think 1, all the characters are right there on that mural, and I do remember one of the characters from Rebels being Ezra, and apparently now he's missing. So I'm assuming this is definitely going to be a continuation of it. You know what I mean? It just makes the most sense when you look at it that way.
Yeah, that's just to clear that up.
No, you're fine.
But what would you guys?
Yeah, a lot of the characters.
Go ahead, Don.
And oh no, I was just saying a lot of the characters that you see, like Sabine, she was younger, and that's in the Rebel series, and now she's older, and it's that's why her hair is longer in the first episode, because before in the Rebel series her hair was shorter.
Yeah, she cut it again. Yeah.
Terrible haircut.
A little
Yeah.
upset about that.
Yeah,
Like,
and
this-
that knife, I wanted to let you guys know that knife was dull as fuck.
I
It
was
was
about-
so thick.
I was about
I'm
to say you couldn't
pretty
even cut like a
sure-
pizza with that.
no.
I'm pretty sure she pulled some roots out when she was doing that.
She pulled more than roots out. She put some scalp. Like her scalp was
A
removed.
little tiny bit of her brain just came with it.
And it was like, there's no fucking way her hair would look that nice after cutting it like that. It would have been
No.
fucked.
No, like,
she had to
you-
use the lightsaber for the rest.
you know she went back in and like tweaked it to make it look good because like I'm pretty sure you've all seen videos on social media or people like women at home try and cut their own hair and it just looks like a Bratz Barbie doll and you just went
Yeah.
and it's just like all stiff now and it just like
It just sits on there.
yeah so like that's what it would have looked like but obviously she had some work done before she decided to walk out of her house.
Yeah.
So
So any of you have any other thoughts on how you feel about the show? What do you hope to expect?
What I'm hoping to expect is, I really want to know what's going to happen with Thrawn, especially
Thrawn.
Thrawn.
I
I kind of want to. I just want to know exactly like if they find him, what's going to be the lead up to the next series.
definitely going to start another war.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, whether it's big or small, there's going to be some kind of war.
Some conflict is definitely going to come. I definitely agree with you, Nick. Like I think this is going to be, in my opinion, just based off of the first 2 episodes, like we mentioned earlier today.
Mhm.
It just already seems like it's going on a good path to really be entertaining and give us like a good insight of how things were going after Order 66 and as far as like Ahsoka's path after she defected.
Hmm.
Because once Ahsoka left, we never really heard from her again, aside from like a couple scenes here and there from the Mandalorian, the Star Wars Rebels. Like we never really grasped what she was doing out there. She was just like a iconic character that came back here and there. But now we're finally getting like a full story that's just about her, and I couldn't be more excited about it.
I got very happy when I seen her in Mandalorian. I was like, no fucking way.
Yo, you and me both.
It's like, no way. Don?
I want to see like more about Baylan and Shin, like their characters, because apparently they're not quite Sith Lords, but they're not also obviously Jedis. They're like in between, because if you notice, their lightsabers are not really red; they're like orange.
So
like
they're more of an anti-hero kind
Yeah,
of. Right.
so I believe that I think there's an actual term for it. It's pretty simple, if I remember correctly. I think they're simply referred to as Dark Jedi because they were already Jedi and they basically just defected from the Jedi.
They're not
order.
necessarily Sith Lords yet.
Yeah, so they're not quite Sith Lords, but they're not Jedi either, and they're not Gray Jedi either. So they're not along that path. They're full allegiance with the
Imperial.
yeah with them, but they're not quite Sith Lords either. So they're like kind of like on
In
the cusp.
between.
Yeah, Gray
Makes
Jedis are
sense.
something crazy though.
Hmm?
The Gray
Yeah.
Jedis, they're something crazy.
Well, go ahead, Don.
But yeah, overall, I'm really curious about like his story in particular, like Baylan, because he almost like has like withstands the Force, like how Darth Vader was in like the past movies. It's like the way he's able to maneuver with the Force and everything, especially in the first episode. It seems like because a lot of people are speculating like he showed mercy to them at some point, even when he was fighting them. Like it seemed like he has like a point objective, not to quite kill them, but he's like on a mission to, maybe he's aligned with Dorn, but I don't know. I'm really curious about where that's thrown. Yeah, to see where it's gonna go with his story. Oh yeah, and rest in peace actor too, because he actually passed away last year. But
Who?
the guy that plays Baylan.
Oh damn!
Oh
for real?
shit, he died.
Yeah, that's why if
Wait, so
you notice the first episode, it says goodbye to our friend Ray. That's his real name.
wait, so did he finish the series?
Oh yeah, they got to finish it, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Damn, I didn't even know that. That sucks.
that's why they had a dedication to like towards the end of the credits, and it said to our friend Ray, dedication. But
Damn, that's wild.
Oh wow, he died like
A few months
May,
ago.
A few months ago.
What he died for?
oh yeah,
There's a thing right there.
Oh,
It said cancer.
no.
Yeah, race.
Heart
Steve
attack.
Heart attack. Damn.
Ew.
Damn, that's wild.
How old he was? I don't know if it's important, but dude, he was like my mom's age. It's crazy. It's like 61 around there. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a shame.
64. He's mid to late 50s.
Yeah.
I don't feel like doing the math. I won't lie to you guys.
Yeah, it's like 61. It's my mom's age.
Yeah. Damn, that sucks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go more in depth on where him and what's her name, Shin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go more through the background of them too, because they basically just showed up, so they have to explain to the audience where they came from and why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and like I want to see like maybe how like certain Jedi's turn to that dark side and get that orange saber. I wonder if they go into that kind of phase of how they like that.
Maybe they're like confused because Shin is that. Am I pronouncing it right? Shin.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah. So Shin, she's like questioning him. If you notice that was it the second episode, she's questioning him on like why we're doing this, where we
right, like what is the game?
What is the end game here?
Right.
What happens to us? What happens to them?
Yeah, and
so I feel like that, from I'm kind of like foreshadowing here, but I feel like she might turn back to the good side because she starts noticing stuff that she doesn't want to do.
She didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, she's like, I didn't sign up for this and I don't want to do this because he's talking about power, but she's like, wait, what? Like, what about me? Like, what's gonna happen to me?
Right.
It's either that or like they might throw a curveball at you in the sense that like they might just take a full on Sith route, where like if like let's say the apprentice gets to a point where like I don't need you anymore, they'll try and do something to actually like get rid of the master and they'll take over.
No, I feel like since he's fighting for power, like waiting for the power, thinking he's gonna get power, he might die.
Come on,
and then she's gonna be like, "Oh, now the witch is gonna come and try to kill me, so now I gotta defend myself.
Come on,
now I'm gonna help Ahsoka."
This is like typical bad guy shit. It's like when you finally set the main bad guy out of his dungeon or whatever the case where he gets from, he's gonna kill all of you anyways.
Yeah,
like you think you're gonna get power, but you're not getting shit. Like
so his character seems like he's very what's the word?
Well, his character was in Clone Wars, I think.
Was it?
Yeah. I didn't see the full Clone Wars, but I had a buddy of mine that told me at work that was like, yeah, she's like a real fucking fan. So it's like she would be like, yeah, but to understand the story, you have to watch Clone Wars. And he was part of the Clone Wars because Ahsoka fought with him during the Clone Wars, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's in there. I don't know about this like Shin character. Not Shin. The hell's her name?
Morgan?
No. The his apprentice.
Yeah, Shin.
Shin, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know about Shin because the thing is, like, I think she's new for this particular series. Mm. So we don't know where she's came from, anything about her background.
Maybe she will kill Balin.
That would be crazy.
And take over the master.
I think the crazy part is
you need to kill Morgan.
I feel like we just made a connection too. I think Nick, you were just saying how Ahsoka and Balin like fought together in the Clone Wars, right?
Wait, that explains why he was like
exactly.
Like he was like, that's exactly a shame that she'll die because she's a formidable Jedi.
Yeah,
and he was just like, yeah, because they're so rare nowadays because they're
exactly.
They're dying out.
Like I feel like he wants the power, but he doesn't want the Jedi Order to die because he wants more like him. He doesn't want to be the only one, I guess.
All right.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out how that's going to turn out.
Or maybe he will help Ahsoka, and then Shin would become the Sith, helping Morgan.
Now I know this is like after when Darth and the Emperor died, but I was like, I don't care for Thrawn. Thrawn. I don't care for Thrawn.
You're gonna care for Thrawn because he's the one that's gonna start some shit.
That would be like I'll be shocked if he actually is becoming like really big of a threat. I'm looking at him like this small miniature guy.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, in the first episode, like every time his name is mentioned, people seem to have like some kind of like
fear,
fear or reaction
and recognition of the name.
Exactly.
Too.
So
he looks like Avatar. Just,
I mean, his Avatar is probably going to kill like hundreds of thousands of people, probably. So.
I know. I'm talking so much shit, but then when he gets on the screen, it's going to be like, crazy,
yeah. That's why Ahsoka was telling Sabine that it's not just about saving Ezra; it's about preventing another
The
war.
war.
Because if Balin and Morgan get a hold of that map, which they did in the end of the episode, then that means they're going to find Thrawn, and then that's when they're going to start war. Because Morgan seems pretty aggressive as she is, without any help or anything.
And this time, she doesn't need to be locked up; she needs to be killed.
Yeah,
like
at this point, she needs to be killed.
Yeah.
But you know the Jedi don't.
Yeah,
like
I was
killing.
just about to say that.
I was like, what
knowing Jedi, they're not going to kill her.
Except
what do
for
we do?
Anakin when he count Dooku.
And also Anakin again in the Clone Wars, like the actual series, he's killed people before.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's why he's a fucking Sith Lord now.
Well, that's
why he's the GOAT.
he is the GOAT.
He's willing to do what needs to be done.
Exactly. That's
So what are we, DC here? Like we just don't kill people.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like I think when it comes to like all of the sides, I would primarily go with the Gray Jedi because they're good people, but they don't have the same exact morals that get the Jedi, the Jedi in trouble as far as like excessive mercy to where they don't want to do anything. And
they're good guys that do whatever it takes to stay good guys,
basically.
So
but they're also like in the in between. So they utilize both, the light and dark sides of the Force. So they're not just using the light side.
But they have that balance. They know how to control that balance.
Exactly. They have that balance and they're willing to take that extra step if it's necessary. But it's not like they're fully deflecting, like, oh, I'm a Sith Lord now. Like, nah.
Oh, so they're like the
equivalent do what they gotta do.
With Balin and Finn, pretty much.
Say that again?
Oh, no, I was just saying to what Angel was saying with the they're like the equivalent to the Sith Lords to the Jedis with the gray. What was they called again? The gray sabers.
I think they're just referred to as the Gray Jedi.
Gray Jedis, yeah. That's what it kind of seems like with with the orange lightsabers. They're like the oppositions of that. They're like in between, like
they're saving
Jedi.
their own ass. That's what it seems like. Those orange saber guys.
Also, I would like to point out that just in case if you guys didn't already know, I feel like you probably do, but in case you didn't, when it comes to like, let's say a Jedi transitions to the dark side and they have a red lightsaber now, when originally it was like either blue or green.
Yeah, the kyber crystal changes color.
It's not as simple as changing color. They basically bleed their kyber crystal. They basically force their dark power on it and basically bend it to their will, and it causes it to bleed out, and it makes their lightsaber red.
There's like so many different colors for so many different Jedi.
I have no idea.
Oh, I have an idea. I've seen
Stupendous Wave.
I was about to say because like there's so many different variations,
and there's also going to be more out there that you guys don't know about yet until you watch that guy's YouTube channel.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, we don't promote channels, but if you had to say, what was the name of the channel?
The Stupendous Wave.
There you go.
The reason why I keep going back to it is because I have learned a lot.
Very knowledgeable.
And it's only about Star Wars. Like he has different channels. I think there's that one, and then there's the Marvelous Wave, and some maybe a third. But like Stupendous Wave is only about Star Wars.
Maybe if we mention him, he'll probably sponsor us. I know.
But it's very, very, very knowledgeable. He goes very in depth into this stuff, so it's super cool and entertaining to watch.
Okay.
Or
big vibes. Big vibes.
The Star Wars Vision series too. That goes deep dives into.
Oh man, I can't wait for season 2. Oh.
I didn't even see the first season.
Oh my God.
Don keeps telling me to watch it too. I haven't watched the first one.
So it's basically different stories and different animations each episode.
That's interesting.
You know what that sounds like to me, if I'm being honest?
Sounds fantastic.
It sounds like the show on Netflix, Love, Death, and Robots.
It's like exactly
where like every episode is completely different with a different animation.
You cannot have picked the perfect comparison.
You know what? You could have said. I was going to say like Black Mirror is another one too.
I didn't watch
Love, Death, and Robots is more what it is.
I didn't watch Black Mirror.
Black Mirror is like constantly something different every
episode. Yeah,
episode.
but Black Mirror is live action and it's live action. Like it's no animation, no difference. Like that's just different stories. But Visions have different stories and different animation.
Are they good stories?
It's most of them.
All right.
There is one or two that are trash, but get through it. Get through it like I did for She-Hulk, and you'll see. I want to see season 2.
I don't know how you did the She-Hulk. But.
I won't lie. I watched the whole thing of She-Hulk, and I'm a little disappointed.
A little. That's for a whole different conversation.
I'm a little disappointed, but it could have been so much more.
So all right. So does anybody have any thoughts or any type of like anything on the next episode or what you think so far?
Only thing I gotta say for right now, I'm definitely excited.
There you go.
I'm definitely excited about it.
So far for me, it's so good. I like Star Wars and Ahsoka. Oh.
I love the connection. For me, I'm loving the connection between her and Sabine. I don't know what it is. I just love because again, we didn't get to see a Jedi Master being able to train a Padawan. So
yeah, like watching
it. Right. That's what I'm saying. They say it, but then, they fast forward to like when they're about to be done their training and shit.
Yep.
So at least we get
a montage, no nothing.
Right. Nothing.
We're going to get that now.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, this is the first fucking time we actually get to see it like slowly happening again.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I want to see more of the connection between her and Sabine because they seem like they have a good duo. And especially that, Ahsoka's been through with Anakin. She gave up on her fucking training, So that's what I'm saying. That's why, me and Angel was talking about it too. It was like, you have a lot to talk saying that she didn't finish her training, but she never did either. That's the thing. Like, I'm like,
hold on. But like really quick though, the one thing we have that we have to acknowledge is that Ahsoka was much farther in her training.
She's in deep into the training.
She not only was she in deep in training, like her first official, technically her first mission
was in the war.
Was in the middle of a war. Like she got dropped off while they're in the middle of combat.
Dropped the Uber.
And then
I'm dropping you off here.
Right. And they're like, everyone's like, okay, well, you're going to be, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And she's like, well, no, I'm actually here for you, Anakin Skywalker. He's like, huh? She not only, like I said earlier, not only did she perform, she also excelled. She showed promise.
Mm.
And then we see throughout the Clone Wars actual series how formidable she started to become. She, like I said earlier, she went from having one saber to having to dual wielding to being able to fight people like Asajj Ventress. Like she was getting up there with power and skill. Like you can tell she was getting it. Whereas Sabine, you need to go back to day one. Go back to day one. You need to go back.
It's just not working out.
See, look there. Right,
you got to do it again. She just holds it. We're gonna get the business.
It was so bad.
Like look like if you're watching this video, like look how like disappointed he already is in her, and she just started like day one.
I mean, to be fair, like you got to give him some type of leeway. He was not expecting to get a Padawan, nor has he ever requested for one to just randomly be like, "Hey, Master Yoda said I'm yours."
She was younger than fucking Sabine, actually. I think Sabine looks like she's like 20.
Honestly, to be fair,
but I feel like Sabine was more with the Mandalorian side of it.
But
that's what I was questioning about too. Like, when did we even talk about her being a part? Like, what faction did she come from?
Real quick, did you see that?
I did.
He just blocked like 2 blasts when he wasn't even looking.
That's Anakin. I was expecting
my boy is tough, yo. Watch how he just like.
She was part of a crew called the Ghost Crew in the Mandalorians. That's where she stems from, pretty much. It's like
Anakin's
say that again, bro. Dante.
Oh no, I was just saying. I was answering Nick's question, like where she stems from. Like it's called a Ghost Crew. There's a subgroup from the Mandalorian. That whole entire organization.
So was that the crew like from the Mandalorian, like that little small crew? I forgot what was the girl's name.
No, there was mostly in the Rebel series. Like you'll see them. They had like colorful Mandalorian uniforms.
Oh,
like,
so yeah. So Sabine was actually in, I think, either Clone Wars or
she's in Rebels.
Rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were thinking about like they're called like Night Owls or something.
Yeah,
Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No. That was from what's the leader again? Dante, you said her earlier. From Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Oh, I forget her name.
The girl that takes her helmet off.
Oh, Armor?
Oh,
Bo-Katan.
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 Yeah, that's where she's from.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right. So if anybody has any other thoughts, say them now. Forever hold your peace.
Yeah, we'll definitely do another episode on this.
Yeah, we're gonna watch the new episode probably tonight or the other night, and then wait for some other episodes. We're gonna try to do 2 at a time, maybe.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, 2 at a time, and then we'll come back and talk some more about the rest of these episodes.
We'll definitely have Angel back on these.
Yeah, hopefully Sabine's training actually improves.
I hope so too.
Because if it doesn't, I'm gonna be a little disappointed.
Yeah, we have to have a conversation with her.
We need to sit her down and be like, "Yo, whatever you're doing, stop doing that."
You need to be on Anakin's level when you're not looking and
We're
blocking lasers.
You gotta admit that was impressive. Like, and he was just so
He's
like he just turned around like, "What the hell is that?" As he's blocking like something that can like blast his face off. Like,
Oh yeah.
this
And
dude
one
is
last-
such a seasoned warrior. Oh my god.
Say it again.
I was about to say my last word. I just hope this be better than the Mandalorian season 3 because I didn't like the season 3 of Mandalorian
Ooh,
versus
you hurt
the
me.
first 2
I was
seasons.
about to say, besides Why Man Break, not that one, but like, you know, with that episode, I don't know, season 3 was actually really good on Mandalorian.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Nah,
I like the whole series.
it was
Looking
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
But I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the series though. Overall, like I hope it just performs better than that. You know?
well, Don.
So far, it is.
Well, Don, how did you like? Didn't we watch Obi-Wan together too?
That was amazing
no,
too.
Oh, you skipped that one.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one.
All right. So
Yeah, that's-
if anybody doesn't have any more thoughts, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Jeez.